Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen. There's Gretchen's last name. That way, if you want to find any of these creators, you can find them. I know Tori has other things. I don't know about the other two off the top of my head. I do not know. And part of me thinks I might have another deck by Eric, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Who knows? This is Capricorn. Wow, there's a lot there. There's a lot in the environment. Okay, let's keep going. We're not quite there yet. It's a lot coming up from the environment. There's a lot coming up from the environment I'm getting here. So let's see what you're dealing with. Balance and miracle. Balance, miracle, and the Ten of Pentacles. I don't know if I should laugh, but it's kind of like the situation is stable when you're going into it, but you've been fighting to keep it that way. There's a lot of things here I feel like you don't really like, but at the same time, it's not about liking it or not liking it. It's just what you need to do to keep it going. And you've been putting in a lot of effort, and the miracle is telling me the fact that it's still going as well as it is not just the fact that you're doing everything you can and bending over backwards, but you have some supportive energy around you that maybe isn't always complimentary to you, but is working out at this point. So everything seems to be working out. It's just like, it seems like normally it wouldn't, but in this situation so far it is. That's what I'm feeling with the miracle. And the balance is kind of like, it's not about liking it, it's about what needs to be done. So that's what you're doing, what needs to be done. Ten of Pentacles, it's stable at this point, and you're doing everything you can with it. Okay, this is where the environment starts to kind of hit in here. Service is in here, and I feel like somebody isn't doing that well. They've been holding it together as the best they can for the longest time. Something isn't going well with them. I don't know what it is, because it's a general read, obviously, but something isn't right. Something is just not, they're not able to hold up their side of the bargain. And it's not like it's a half thing. It's like whatever piece it is they do, whatever it is they're supposed to do to keep the thing going, that seems to be kind of dipping down. At this point, you're aware of it. And you're kind of like, you're hoping it's just a momentary glitch or a momentary dip. So you're like, all right. Instead of this falling apart, let me get in here. Let me try to help or rally some others. If I can't do it, let me see if I can get somebody else to help move this up. Let's keep this afloat for now. Let's just kind of get through this moment. Hopefully this is just a temporary thing, but let's keep it up. Let's get it back up there. Let's keep it going. Let's do what we can. You got passion here. It's like you don't want it to fail, but I'm getting nervous. I'm getting like really nervous. Kind of like, oh boy, are we going to have a problem? Oh, I'm getting like really nervous. Like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Here, let's try to keep it going. Let's see if we can just make it through this rough patch. You're doing everything you can. You got the strength card on your side. Whatever you can do, you're doing it. If it's you or you're pulling somebody else or whatever you need to do, you're trying to make that happen. You're like, all right, let's keep it together. Let's just get through this rough patch. We can do it. Hopefully this is temporary. I don't know. Let's keep going. Because it seems like it's not really improving at first, but you're not one to give up. Which actually, I think that's good at this time around. You're not one to give up. At first, it doesn't seem like it's really making a difference. That's the Hanged Man. Now, at first, how long that lasts, it's subjective to whatever you're dealing with. It just doesn't seem to be making any improvements. But I feel like on your side and why you might be continuing it on and not giving up is like, it doesn't seem to be like getting worse. It's just not seeming to get better. And it's kind of like, ooh, I don't know about this. Like, it's almost like, it was going at this level and then this dip happened, right? So you went from up here down to here. And at first it doesn't seem to be making a difference, so you're not going back up to the normal, it's just staying here, you can't really get it up. But you're like, yeah, but it's not falling any farther down, so maybe we'll be okay. You persevere though, and it keeps going. People are persevering, you're keeping it there. It's not going up yet. It's still not going up yet. Trying to make it go up, it's not going up. Again, like usually for the longest time it was here, but it's dipped down. It's not falling any farther down. So you're like, okay, and you got other people helping you out. I feel like there's other people helping here, doing what you can. It seems to be stabilizing at this lower level. And it's almost like the attitude at this point is like, all right, well, let's at least keep it here until we can find a way to bring it back up. If we can't bring it right up now, let's at least not let it fall any farther. Okay. A lot of this comes in really fast. People trying to do their best, but not really doing that well. People trying to do the best they can, but not doing that well. That's bittersweet with faith. Kind of like it's not going that well. People are trying to it's not going that well. People putting in a lot of effort, but the recovery is interesting to me because I feel like the recovery comes in when I feel like somebody else is adding in. It's almost like asking someone that is not normally a part of it, or maybe you don't want to be a part of it, asking somebody else to come into the situation. And it feels difficult to me, kind of like I'm just having a hard time getting this energy. Like somebody's coming in and I don't feel like I want them to. At the same time, I need them to. So when I say I don't want them to, it's like I don't like working with this energy. But I need this energy for this to improve. And this all seems to be happening really quickly. Like people can't seem to pull it together. The people usually involved are not able to do it. They're trying, but they're like, and then the bittersweet is kind of like, okay, we're going to have to ask so-and-so. Don't want to, but we need to. This energy comes in. This is the workaholic energy that just doesn't feel like it matches your energy, which is kind of interesting because Capricorn will work. Usually the normal Capricorn energy I come in contact with, putting in effort to do something is not a problem. Like they will put in the effort for success. This is just contrary to the way you do things. It's just different. It just doesn't match your mode of moving. Now, when all this happens, it comes in quickly. A lot of communication coming in all at once, and I feel like that might be it too. Quick changes, the way it's said may not be that fun. Now, and again, it's like, I feel like you're looking at this like it's not about fun. It's not about enjoying it. It's about success and making it work out the best we can. Which is probably another reason why you're handling it with a grain of salt. Like, yeah, I don't like the way things are said, but I don't care. I want the better outcome. So whatever with that. That's fine. I'm not about that. I'm about things improving. And things come in quickly. There might be a little bit of harsh communication I'm getting. Again, you're not investing in that. If somebody says something off color or rude or something you don't like, you don't have time for that. You need success. You need for things to get better. You just don't have time for those conversations is what I'm getting. You're happy that things look like they might improve, and they seem to improve fairly quickly, and it's a noticeable change, and you're just kind of like, it went from uncomfortable to really uncomfortable, but the outcome, you're like, oh no, I'll do it, this is not how I roll, but I don't care, I need this to get better. And you're happy for that portion. You are getting justice on your side. Things are improving. Things are going better. And wherever you need to assist, you're there. And you're adding your assistance, whatever that needs to be, you're doing that. Okay. All right. It's not about how it's communicated. It's about the end result. You're invested in the end result. That is the whole reason why. You're invested in the end result. Growth is happening. As it keeps going forward, see, the energy that came in, it may be temporary. The why is just not coming to me. So I feel like that might be one of the reasons you're not liking this energy, because you know it's temporary. That might be one of the things. But also, when justice is on your side, even if it's temporary, you're absorbing and learning everything you can as fast as you can, and you're getting other people to do the same. So that way, if it doesn't last, if this energy is just temporary, you're still going to learn what you can from it, so you can continue on without it. Cool. Because I'm getting there's a lot of growth, but the acceptance makes me feel like that's all they can do. Like, this is all I can do. Good luck. Bye. It's weird that the acceptance is like that, but it's kind of how that's feeling, and it is. Well, it's also giving me the Ten of Swords. Like, more can go better here, but this energy can't seem to stay. That's, I feel like, the Ten of Swords, especially with the acceptance. Kind of like there's only so much they can do. Once they achieve that, that's pretty much it for them. It's on you to then take over again. You got expansion on your side. All right, this is what we got now. Okay, it's not about liking it, it's about what worked. And we're seeing what's working here. We need to kind of keep going with that. Let's keep going with that. It's not about comfort for you at this point, because the situation doesn't feel comfortable anyway. So it's kind of like you're almost used to not being comfortable. As long as it goes better, again, invested in the end result. So you're trying to go forward with these new set of rules, and you're moving forward kind of on autopilot. Like, all right, let's keep going. Let's keep this working. This is how we've been doing it. It's a little bit weird for me, but it's working. Let's keep going. What other information do we have? You're rolling with it the best you can. And then you hit this point with the Empress. I like this, actually. There comes a point where you literally have to sit down and just go through all the harsh realities of what you're dealing with. I almost feel like this is a very intense meeting. I feel like for a lot of you, you literally have to sit down and write it out, pros and cons, how the pros and cons have been handled, who's been handling them, why that's good, pros and cons in the past, pros and cons currently, pros and cons for the future. So it could be the same situation, the same way something's being handled. Maybe it was okay in the past, it's all right now, but if we keep going this way, it's not going to be, or whatever you got. But it's a very intense meeting. When I'm getting the Empress on your side, it's like, all right, we got to take everything into account. How is this affecting everybody? Where's this situation going? What do we need to do? We just got to be at the reality point. Like, where are we going? Where is this going to lead us? There's just a bit here where there's mysticism with the magician on your side. You have to make decisions going forward. Somebody has to take the lead. And I feel like there's so much here that there's so many wild card factors here. It's hard to know where to go, what to do. It's definitely one of those situations where day by day you just got to see what's in front of you and do your best with it. I'm getting the magician is where you're constantly involved, kind of like, all right, well, today we've got this. Let's do the best we have. And even some of you, it's like halfway through the day, you literally might have to regroup and make different decisions. It's not about being comfortable. It's just kind of like, oh, crap, things have changed. Okay, not that. We're going to now do this because things have changed that we didn't expect. It's kind of like, well, we were going to take a car ride at noon. The car has 3 flat tires. Well, we're not doing that. All right, no, that's not going to happen. What do we need to do to keep things going? Can we do this by a phone call? Do we need to do Skype? Do we need to just write down our notes and move the meeting to another time? What do we need to do? I feel like you're just in that mode where you realize, I feel like this is why you're succeeding. You've already accepted that that's how this has to go. It's not about being comfortable. It's not an option. You got wisdom on your side, doing the best with it that you can. You also have to be the cheerleader. I don't know how that sounds. I just really don't. Because it's kind of like, part of me is kind of like, there's people here playing I'm getting the victim card, and it goes so many different ways. Some people are playing the victim, and I'm not a fan of that. Other people literally are the victim. They can't help that. There's a bit of a mixing. There's some other versions I'm not really understanding. Like, almost like when I'm feeling the victim is like, there's almost like these offshoot problems where people are having things where they can't help. and they're feeling really bad about not being able to help like they normally would. I feel like when I'm getting wisdom, you have to kind of be the cheerleader and keep everybody on point and keep everybody motivated. And like if somebody's having a problem, well, matching them up with the right person to help them with that and continuing forward. And if somebody's playing the victim card, like, not allowing that, but picking them up and bringing them up to speed with the rest of us at the same time. If there's people who are actually having a hard time and they need help, getting that help to them. If there's people with offshoot problems, or like they're gonna have to handle that the way they need to handle that. There's a lot that you have to juggle. There's a lot of like keeping spirits up. I don't know. It's just one of those situations you just gotta roll with it. I feel like what this situation, what this reading is probably presenting to the people that this is hitting with, is kind of like you're still in the marathon. It's just a different leg of the marathon, is kind of what they're saying. It's been, for the longest time, it was one way. It's now into its current phase. Where this is going to lead, it's going to take a while to know. There's a lot going on here. We just got to get through this leg of the marathon, and once you get through this, then we'll go into the next stage. It's just the current leg of the marathon. I hope that makes sense. That's what they're giving me, so I'm going to let that be. I'm just going to let that be. All right, so I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.